Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back, your lovely faces, to a brand new video here on the channel. Do apologize. It'll be exciting because I have some good stuff to see here. Last week, we saw the unsealing of the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial documents, where there's currently over 6,000 pages, which is mind-blowing. And there's only 45 documents at the moment, so we're going to see what happens. But obviously, before we start the video, obviously this is another disclaimer saying this is not targeting anything. I am reading a court document that is out in the public, and that is it. And I will be giving any of my own little opinions or little snippets of information alongside it. Now, for the past 2 days, we've done a few things that are going in order, but I want to jump to one today which is very kind of thing. Like, okay, that's interesting to see. Lauren Lumber, he did post this on Twitter, but obviously I've saved these videos because this week, you know, there's a lot of stuff is happening and I'm not going to be here for a couple of days, so I thought I'd have some videos to put out for you lovely people. And that is actually in regards to who is paying attorney fees. So remember now, we are still in Elaine's argument of what she wants to not show up in the documents and what should and shouldn't be allowed. This one here, as you can see by there, evidence of who is paying attorneys' fees should be excluded, and any references to or suggestions that AH having an army or many attorneys on the case. Mr. Depp inappropriately seeks to introduce evidence that an insurance company, earlier it was alleged it was Elon Musk or ACLU, depending upon the day is paying, AH's legal bills, whereas Mr. Depp is paying for his. Many times, Mr. Depp, who brought this lawsuit and the one in the UK, she always got to try and throw the UK into it. The UK has nothing to do with this. Judge Penny Azakarate has already said that, and so did Judge White beforehand. Has suggested that AH has an advantage over Mr. Depp because someone is paying for her fees, while poor Mr. Depp, who made $650 million while Miss Jacobs was his agent, again, that's got nothing to do with it, is solely responsible for his fees. AH was in fact responsible for her fees and costs for a significant period of time before insurance kicked in, but that is completely irrelevant. So she does say that, yeah, the insurance company kicked in before, this had to be done. Moreover, Mr. Depp consistently refers to her army of attorneys and suggestions there are many counsel compared to Mr. Depp's, when in fact, frequently at depositions, hearings, and meets and confers, Mr. Depp has multiple attorneys present. They have offices in DC, California, and New York, while AH has to retain lawyers in these jurisdictions. And Mr. Depp has significantly more attorneys and staff working on this case than her counsel. Now, what you need to remember, with the insurance company who were going to pay, the ones who are now suing her for $5 million, they offered her which lawyers to use. And she went basically behind their back, I'm not going to use them, I'm going to use my ones. Which, to be honest with you, if she actually allowed the insurance company to give her the lawyers, she would have probably had a better shot. That's what I'm thinking about all of this. Because with Elaine, like we said in the previous videos, supposedly she hasn't seen the inside of a courtroom for 20 years. She hasn't had any experience in the last 20 years of going into a courtroom and fighting another person. Basically, she hasn't had any of that. And when you do that, you kind of lose a lot of stuff. And again, Elaine is very well known for settling out of court before it actually reaches going to trial. So to me, that just goes to show that with her, Elaine thought, ooh, Mr. Depp and Miss Heard, this is going to be a big one. I'm going to do this. And to be honest with you, she ruined it. Because when she's there on the podium and she's just like, I'm trying. What are you trying? Come on, be a better lawyer. That's what I really do find funny. But yeah, obviously she's being sued for $5 million. AH is now by an insurance company because of what she did, the underhanded tactics while this was going on. So, notwithstanding, this is all not relevant, completely inappropriate for the jury. Such claims and implications likely would mislead the jury and would certainly substantially prejudice Amber Heard. Therefore, she seeks to preclude Mr. Depp from introducing testimony respecting who is paying for each party's attorney's fees and any reference to the number of firms or lawyers each party has. Such testimony is A, wholly irrelevant, B, likely to confuse and mislead the jury, and this is what I like, she missed out C. How do you not know your ABCs, Elaine? D is unfairly prejudicial to Amber Heard. A pre-trial ruling is necessary to prevent unfair prejudice. Now, this is what I like as well. Plaintiff should not be allowed to introduce evidence of who is paying for legal fees because such evidence is not probative of any material fact, including whether Mr. Depp ever did this. The identity of the payer of attorney's fees is not relevant to any of the issues in this case. It does not tend to make any material fact more or less likely. Evidence of her insurance coverage and the insurer's payment of attorney's fees therefore should be excluded. Going on about, this previous one in 2016. Now, if you remember, Elaine came out and she said she's paying for it out of her own pocket. She's paying for it herself. She's doing this. She's doing that. And everyone was just like, what? Because you could see Johnny's team, his lawyers, on all the tables. They were kind of like looking at each other like, she didn't want any of this to be brought up, and now she's bringing it up herself anyway. It's kind of like Elaine would do these documents and then she'd kind of forget what she was asking by the looks of things, because just reading these, I'd be like, right, okay then, if I'm asking for these not to come in, I'm going to try and not ask questions about it, sort of thing, or even bring up the topic so other people can ask questions. That's what I would have done. Again, I'm not a lawyer, but that's just me thinking simple, really. It's like, if you don't want to know about, if you don't want to talk about it, don't bring up things that could steer into it. But it does go on, obviously, now for the next one, which is this one by here. Plaintiff should not be allowed to introduce evidence relating to who is paying each side's legal bills because any probative value is substantially outweighed by the danger of unfair prejudice or the likelihood of confusing or misleading the jury. This jury was not misled and the jury was not confused. We've supposedly had one juror come out and they've talked about it and they're like, yeah, we were all made to feel very uncomfortable because of the way she was looking at us. Amber, now, this is not Elaine. And the way that she kept staring at him, almost staring into their soul sort of thing to make them believe. And they were just like, oh no. But again, there's tons of stuff that came out showing that exactly what Johnny Depp said, it was proved. This is it, with all the evidence they showed, it proved it, that is it. So, in addition to being wholly irrelevant, evidence of who is paying each side's legal fee should be excluded because any probative value is substantially outweighed by the danger of unfair prejudice and or the likelihood of confusing or misleading the jury. Relevant evidence may be excluded if the probative value of the evidence is substantially outweighed by the danger of unfair prejudice, or its likelihood of confusing or misleading the trier of fact. Here, evidence of who is paying attorney's fees for each side is unfairly prejudicial. Excuse me, said that wrong, I don't care. And is very likely to confuse or mislead the jury. So then it goes on, as you can see, granting motion in limine because of reference to defendant's insurance coverage could, prejudice the defendant or mislead the jury. No, they wouldn't. And they didn't either. But then it goes on, obviously, for these reasons, she should move the court in limine for an order striking evidence of who is paying attorney's fees for each side and also any references or characterizations of the number of counsels or resources of the legal teams. Such evidence is irrelevant and likely to confuse and mislead the jury and unfairly prejudice Amber Heard. Well, it didn't, So many things was happening during this trial, and when you start reading these documents and you go through them, it's like, oh my God. And recently as well, like I say, I'm recording this on Tuesday, and obviously I've gone away, and I've been speaking with Stevie, with Les and everything else, Lyndon, a few people via Twitter and Skype and Zoom and everything, and we're seeing a lot of things out there which is kind of scary, and that is people who are sharing documents And in these documents, the ones that we're reading here, they've doctored them. They've taken names off from who's talking. And it's like, well, come on, you know, are you trying to make it out that someone's not doing the dirty, but because, you know, you're going to be found out that you are supporting a horrible person? It's just like, come on, you know, why do that? The documents are out there. The real ones are out there, that is. And if you want them, like I said, guys, each video of these, they will have the documents, all 6,000 odd pages in the link below. If you are new to the channel, please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell for future updates, and I'll see each and every one of you soon.